From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
He gets to write and he gets to draw the pictures too.
Oh, I love it. His latest book, Goodnight Construction Site, has been a New York Times bestseller for 6 weeks. That's awesome. Okay, please help us welcome Tom Lichtenheld.
Thank you. Hi, guys. How you doing? Good. Well, I'm here because I write books and I draw the pictures, and I'm going to show you a few of my books, probably 3 books, and I'm going to draw some pictures up here on this nice big piece of paper, okay? And the first book I'm going to show you, I'll draw the lead character in this book. There's really only one character in the book. The lead character looks like this. That is a duck rabbit, and I'll show you how it works in the book. The book is called Duck Rabbit, and it goes like this. It starts out, hey, look, a duck. That's not a duck, that's a rabbit. Are you kidding me? It's totally a duck. It's for sure a rabbit. See, there's his bill. Can everybody see his bill right there? The duck rabbit's bill? What are you talking about? Those are ears, silly. Well, can everybody see the rabbit's ears? If those are ears on a rabbit? Let's see if we can figure it out. It's a duck, and he's about to eat a piece of bread. Well, there's a piece of bread. You see the piece of bread that the duck's about to eat? That makes sense, doesn't it? Well, it's a rabbit, and he's about to eat a carrot. And there's the rabbit, and his mouth is right there if it's a rabbit, isn't it? And he's about to eat that carrot. Let's see if we can figure it out. Wait, listen. Did you hear that? I heard duck sounds. Anybody else hear duck sounds? That's funny. I distinctly heard rabbit sounds. Sniff, sniff. All right, let's see if we can figure out if it's a duck or a rabbit. Now the duck is wading through the swamp. Can everybody see the duck wading through the swamp in there? See that? No, the rabbit is hiding in the grass. There, see? It's flying. So it must be a duck. Flying? It's hopping. So it must be a bunny rabbit because it's just hopping. Now, then this next page, I want everyone to turn their heads sideways because it says, look, the duck is so hot, he's getting a drink. Can you see the duck's bill in the water? He's getting a drink? No, the rabbit is so hot, he's cooling off his ears. So if you look at the page sideways, you can see that it's the rabbit leaning his head back to cool off his ears. Because sometimes rabbits do that, don't they? Okay, everybody put on your binoculars for this next page, okay? Put on your binoculars. It says, here, look at the duck through my binoculars. Sorry, still a rabbit. Okay, the next page, I need you guys to help me, okay? I want everybody on this side of the auditorium to read the left side of the page, and everybody on that side to read the right side of the page, but not all at once. Okay, you ready? It says, here, ducky, ducky. Oh, let's try it a little bit louder. Here, ducky, ducky. Now over here. Here, you cute little rabbit. Let's see what happened. Oh, great. You scared him away. I didn't scare him away. You scared him away. You know, maybe you were right. Maybe it was a rabbit. Thing is, now I'm actually thinking it was a duck. So now they're kind of seeing the other person's point of view, aren't they? Well, anyway, now what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Hey, look, an anteater. That's not an anteater. That's a brachiosaurus. Well, brachiosaurus is a dinosaur, right? It used to be called a brontosaurus. And that's the end of Duck Rabbit. Except there's one more thing on this book, In the very back of the book, if you look at the back of the book, it says, hey, look, a zebra. Can everybody see the zebra in there? So how many people think that they saw a rabbit? How many? Well, you know what that means if you saw a rabbit? That means that when you walk, your nose wiggles. How many people saw a duck? Oh, you know what it means when you see a duck? It means when you walk, your butt wiggles. So the rabbit people are the nose wigglers and the duck people are the butt wigglers, right? Okay. Now I'm going to show you another book, and this book is brand new. And I think we're going to flip our drawing pad over now so we can draw some more pictures. And this book is called Emergency. And it's about an emergency. It's all about the letter E. So it starts out, and it says, all the letters live together in a big house. And then we see a picture of a house, and we see all the letters are living in that big house, and they're all talking to each other. Like the letter T is having a tea party, of course, and the letter T says, gee, I'm so glad you like my party. And the letter G says, it's terrific. So they all live in a big house together, and every morning, all the letters run downstairs to breakfast. And they say, chow time, and the Z, you know what the Z says in the morning? The Z says, I'm still sleepy, because Z's are always sleepy. Well, one day, the letter E came down the stairs a little too fast, and guess what happened? Can we flip this around? The letter E came down the stairs too fast, and she fell down the stairs. And there's the letter E falling down the stairs. And what would the letter E say when she fell down the stairs? She'd say, E! And then watching the letter E is the letter O. And what would the letter O say watching the letter E? Oh! So I'll draw that picture for you, show you how I draw these things. So here's the letter E, and let's see what it looks like. She's falling down the stairs. And she's going, ee! Like that. And there's the stairs. And over here, what's over here? The letter O is standing there, right? And the letter O can hardly stand to watch. And the letter O says, oh! And the letter E says, what's the letter E say? E! And there's the symbol for tripping. And she goes, bing, 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 bing. So there's the letter E falling down the stairs. Well, the ambulance had to come, right? To help out the letter E. So here comes the ambulance. Woo! And the EMTs rushed in with an IV ready to perform CPR. So there's the ambulance coming, and the letters are saying, ASAP, speed it up, andiamo, with vigor, pronto. And then they decided that they had to take her to the ER. So E had to go to the ER to get some TLC and an X-ray. And there she is on the floor, and they're bandaging her up. And all the letters, and one of the letters is saying, why isn't E even crying? And another letter says, sometimes she's a silent E. Well, after the ambulance exited again, after the ambulance went back to the hospital, woo, the letter A, and the letter A is kind of a take charge type because she's an type A, right? So the letter A got all the letters together, and the letter A said, someone is going to have to take the place of E while she gets better, because you can't work when you've got a broken leg, right? So she decided that O would take the place of E, and she says, O, you're the obvious option because you're so well-rounded. Well, O wasn't too crazy about this, so O said, but I'm so busy. Why can't the consonants help out? And A said, don't be obnoxious, O. You know the consonants just make gibberish without us vowels. and then the Y, and the Y is always asking questions because he's a Y. And he says, so no one can use E, including us? And us says, egads. And A says, that's right, starting right now, it's O instead of E. That's it, period. So what happens next is everywhere you look, the letter E has been replaced with the letter O. So the newspaper doesn't say Daily News, it says Daily Nows. And the sign at the school that used to say Roosevelt School, well, look what it says now. It says Roosevelt Elementary School. And on the sign in front of the school, it says, Welcome students, spelling test today. And this little girl here is looking at the school lunch menu, and look what she sees. That day, they were supposed to have meatloaf, but what would they have if you couldn't use an E? Oh, by the way, she's looking at the menu, right, instead of menu, because you can't use E's. So they're supposed to have meatloaf, so what they're going to have instead, they're going to have moatloaf. And they were supposed to have a green salad, but what would they have instead? They're going to have a groon salad. And they're supposed to have vegetables. They're supposed to have peas. But what would they have instead of peas if you couldn't use an E? They're going to have poas. Well, there's a little girl standing over here, and she's not too excited about this menu. So she's looking at it. And she's going, oh my goodness, what a weird lunch. Oh, and then we're going to have dessert, but they have to have dessert, which is D-O-S-S-O-R-T. And for dessert, they have Jell-O instead of Jello. So everything got all messed up because they couldn't use the letter E anymore. And look, at everywhere if you went into town, all the signs were all messed up. Instead of Mel's Diner, it says Mole's Diner. Instead of drink Pepsi-Cola, it says drink Popsy-Cola. And there's a Goodyear blimp, but now it's the Goodyear blimp. So everything's all messed up without the letter E. Well, the letter E you know what you do when someone's sick in the hospital? You send them a balloon, don't you? But on the balloon for E, it said, got well soon, instead of get well soon. So everything was messed up. But finally, the letter E got better, and there she is throwing off her cast, and that's a cast off, by the way. And she's better just in time for the end of the book, because what's it say at the end of the book? It says, the end. And everybody's happy again that things can be spelled properly, and they have a big party. And that's the end of Emergency. And on the back of this book, there's E, and she says, hey, look, it's an e-book, because it's about the letter E. All right, that's Emergency. Now, the last book I'm going to show is a book called Goodnight Construction Site. Now, you know what's interesting about this book? When I got to Washington, D.C. yesterday at my hotel, there was a big construction site next to the hotel, and they had jackhammers going and pile drivers and bulldozers and all this noisy stuff. But I wasn't too worried about getting to sleep because I knew that the construction site wouldn't keep me up. What happens at a construction site at the end of the day? What do you think happens? They all shut down, don't they? And that's what this book is about. This is about a construction site that goes to bed at night. So here you can see all the vehicles working hard all day. And it says, down in the big construction site, the tough trucks work with all their might to build a building, make a road, to get the job done load by load. And there's the cement truck and the dump truck and the crane truck, and they're all working real hard. But then at night, the sun has set, the work is done, it's time for trucks to end their fun. So one by one, they'll go to bed to yawn and rest their sleepy heads, then wake up to another day of rough and tough construction play. So they're all going to go to bed. Oh, and here's one of my favorite pictures. This is a crane truck with a big crane on it, And I'll show you how I drew that crane truck. I figured that a crane truck, the first thing it would have is this big boom, and it would use its hook. You know, crane trucks have a big hook on the end, don't they? Well, I figured the crane truck at night would put a night light on its truck, on its hook there, like that. So there's a night light. And then you know how a crane truck has got, you know, a crane truck's got these things called outriggers that the crane truck uses to tip from tipping over. But at night, the crane truck would fold in the outriggers, okay? So here's the crane truck sleeping, and it folds in the outriggers, and what is it hugging at night? What do you hug at night? Your teddy bear. So there's the crane truck's teddy bear, and he's hugging that at night, and he's going to sleep. So that's one of the vehicles that's in this book. And then the other vehicles go to sleep too. Here's a picture of a cement truck. And there's a cement truck. And you see what the cement truck has on over here? He goes to bed at night. He has his blankie. Of course a cement truck would have a blankie, wouldn't it? And then, oh, I want to draw a cement truck. Let's flip this around so I can draw another picture for you. Okay? I figured if I had a cement truck, I wouldn't make cement come out of it. You know what I'd make come out of my cement truck? I would make ice cream come out of it. Wouldn't that be fun? To like have a whole big cement truck? It would look like this. So here's the front of the cement truck, like that. And this cement truck would be very happy because it makes ice cream. And then there'd be the back of the cement truck like that, right? And then out of here, out of the little hopper thing, would come ice cream. And of course, it's a giant ice cream cone, right? And there's a kid, very happy to have the world's largest ice cream cone coming out of the cement truck. Wouldn't that be fun? All right, well, that's not really in the book. I just thought it'd be fun. All right, and then there's also a picture of a dump truck. And look what happens when the dump truck goes to sleep. It makes Z's, doesn't it? And the Z's go right up into the building and become part of the building. And then finally, it says, all the vehicles are asleep, and it says, these big trucks, so tough and loud, they work so hard, so rough and proud. Tomorrow is another day, another chance to work and play. Turn off your engines, stop your tracks, relax your wheels, your stacks and backs. No more huffing and puffing, team. It's time to rest your heads and dream. And then all the trucks are asleep, and the moon is shining over the city, and it says, construction site, all tucked in tight. The day is done. Turn off the light. Great work today. Now, shh, good night. And that's the end of Goodnight Construction Site. Okay, we're going to flip this around one more time. I'm going to do something really fast here. I'm going to ask somebody to tell me a little story that happened to you, and I'm going to draw it into a whole story. Somebody tell me some little thing that happened to you, like maybe your dog licked you on the face or something. Did something happen, some little things happen to somebody that I can make a story out of? What happened to you? All right, well, I'm gonna start a story with something another little girl told me the other day when I asked this. She said, my brother threw a pickle at me. So I said, well, we'll make that into a whole story. Because what if you were in your house and your brother threw a pickle at you and it knocked you out the window? Okay? So there's a little girl falling out the window because her brother threw a pickle at her. And then she was in trouble because she lived on a hill. And this is how a little thing can turn into a big story by using your imagination. Well, down the hill there was a cactus. And it had some pricklers on it. And then down the hill from that there was a tree, and the tree had a bear behind it. A very hungry bear. Also in the tree there was a bee's nest. And there were bees there. And at the bottom of the hill, of course, there's an ocean. And in the ocean, there's a shark. So the girl's really in trouble, isn't she? But you know what? She had on her backpack, because she was going to school, and in her backpack, she had a parachute. So she could just float down to safety. And that's how you turn a little thing into a bigger story. Thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun. Bye-bye.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.